want to talk about dark seasons today because I think all of us are experiencing some of the most biggest dark seasons of our lives in this particular season and hour. And the reason why is because of the shift, the spiritual shift that is taking place on earth and in the spirit realm. Satan is literally running rampant. The way that sin in this world has literally crippled people, has crippled the world, it is literally showing up. I had an experience and I'm going through a really tough season. Like, it's really a dark season for me. However, I still stand and trust in God. I'm still reading my word. I'm still worshiping. I'm not going to tell you that it's super easy, but I am still staying faithful in that. I'm not going to say any names because the young lady actually follows me on here, but I hope she doesn't mind me sharing. And I won't go too deep, but I'm in the airport and the Holy Spirit tells me to grab some napkins. Now, I am a person that keep napkins, but I don't be like sold on it. Like, at this point, it was no reason for me to grab the napkins. I wasn't having any sinus or allergies issues, but for some reason, the Holy Spirit said, get up and put some napkins in your book bag. So I do so. So we board the plane, and as I'm boarding the plane, and mind you, I'm always very aware of God and what he needs me to do. I'm always in prayer, like, Lord, whatever assignment that you have for me today, please don't allow me to miss it, because I truly wholeheartedly believe in being obedient to the voice of God. Get on the airplane, y'all know I have twin daughters. Kennedy has sat in front of the young lady. Morgan was sitting on the side of her, and Morgan was like, come sit next to me, come sit next to me. And just to mess with Morgan, because she was irritating me the whole trip, I was just gonna go sit next to Kennedy because she was irritating me the whole trip. But then I looked at the lady that was sitting next to Morgan, and I literally heard the Holy Spirit say, you need to sit next to her. This is just a story to show you how concerned God is about us and about our situations, and how even God used that situation just to prove to me and show me how intentional and how concerned he is in the midst of our trials and our dark seasons. So immediately I sit down, and of course, because I am a discerning person, the Holy Spirit is like just giving me all this intel about this young lady, and I'm like, I can sense in the spirit that she does not want to be bothered, which I could tell she was friendly, but don't bother me type of thing. And so I kept staring at her, and Morgan says to me, like, why are you staring at her? And I was like, I think she's crying. So anyway, I go and the Holy Spirit tells me, grab the napkins out of your book bag and give it to her. So I'm like, this is so strange. Like, everything was very specific. Like, the way that God was moving, I literally seen that, God, this is you. You are completely in this. So fast forward, I handed her the napkin. She's like, thank you. Very sweet, very kind. Although I could sense that she was a person of leave me alone, don't bother me, because that's who I am. And I was even like, child, I don't want to be bothered either, okay? So we chit-chatted for a little bit, like really quick small talk, nothing in particular. And I didn't even ask her why she was crying, because that just wasn't the assignment. That wasn't something that I needed to know. And I just said something very lighthearted, like, girl, you know, life is kicking all of our tails. Something very lighthearted. And she thanked me for the tissue, and I went back to minding my business. I take a nap as one do, but as I'm taking a nap, I tell God, because mind you, I'm in a dark season. I don't have it. I feel like I don't have it to give. I'm like, I need strength from you, Lord. I don't have anything to give. So I go and I pray, and I just give it to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, if there is an assignment here, which I already knew because he showed me, I'm like, Lord, create an opportunity, but I'm not about to force it. I told God, I'm not about to force it. You know, she's giving vibes of, you know, I'm sweet and kind, but leave me alone on this flight. And I didn't want to be a bother. I didn't want to be intrusive. I wanted to just honor her space and whatever she was dealing with. And I fall asleep. I take a quick nap. So as all of this happens, I wake up, because if I wake up and I'm like, man, this flight is very long, which the flight was only supposed to be like an hour and 20 something minutes. So I'm like, man, this feels long. So I looks at her, because she was looking at the map, because, you know, I wanted to pull my phone out, but I had turned my phone off, and it was just easier to ask her. I'm like, so how much longer do we have for the flight? Because you can pull up the flight in like the flight maps, and you can see like where you are. I don't know if y'all know that when you travel. So we're talking, and she's like, you know what? It's strange because it first said 20 minutes, but now it's like an hour and 40 minutes. And I'm like, what is happening? She was like, I don't know. It looks like we rerouted. So then Morgan chimed in because Morgan was following it too. And she was like, yeah, this is strange. So then we was asking the stewardess, like, do you know what's going on? She's like, I don't know what's going on. So fast forward, we're still like shooting a breeze, talking about this flight and why it's taking it so long. And you know, we just ready to get home. I have a connecting flight, and I'm like, I bet not miss the connecting flight, or just a whole bunch of, we're talking through all of that. So make a long story short, I started talking to her, asking her questions. I forgot what we got into, but I was like, you look like an athlete. Because again, I was discerning her. The Lord was just showing me things about this lady. So there was things I already knew from the Holy Spirit. So I'm using small talk, not really trying to engage in, well, just being sensitive to the Spirit. Like, Lord, if there's an assignment, you know, I'll do it, whatever. So she ended up telling me, yes, you know, I played basketball in college, and this is where the conversation took a turn. And she tells me that she had felt sick, and I'm like, okay. I was like, would you have COVID or something? She was like, no. And I'm not going to tell you what she told me because I don't know if it's personal or not. I feel like this is about to be a part 2. Dang it, sorry. And so I goes on, when she told me what she had been healed from and what she had went through, like sickness wise, I looked at her and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are such a miracle. Like, it just had overwhelmed me because she's very young. I think she's young. I don't know her age. But at the time, she was like 19 when she had got sick. And I'm like, oh my God, you are such a miracle. And I just started like encouraging her. So she just burst out crying, and I'm like, oh no, like I'm thinking like, I hope I'm not saying nothing wrong. I was trying to be very sensitive to, you know, the situation, but I just began to tell her like, that is such a blessing. Like, God has really healed you. And before I knew it, like the Holy Spirit literally came in and just started speaking through me. I don't know this lady from a can of paint, don't know what she's been through. I just know that the Holy Spirit was really speaking to her current situation, her emotions, what she felt, all of that. Just to show you how intentional God is, she mentions like, you know, the funny thing is, my daughter Kennedy had her Jesus is Lord sweatshirt on it. Kennedy always have something on that talks about Jesus, talks about God. And she said, what's funny is I seen your daughter's shirt, and I forgot what she said. She said something like, you know, it made me think, or something she said. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And here we are sitting next to you. Like, Jesus wanted you to be surrounded. But through this experience, sharing with her, and we were able to connect. Very sweet lady, young lady. I don't know if she's young or not, but very sweet lady. We were able to connect. But what the main point of this whole story time is that God literally orchestrated that whole entire thing. But not only that, we were talking so much that as we began to engage and the Lord gave me what he needed me to say to her, we literally felt the plane land. Mind you, when we first started talking, it was like an hour and 40 something minutes left, but the time kept changing. And what I learned about that is God is so precise. What I learned in that moment is God is so precise, and he predestined things and he orchestrated things to the T, that we were talking so much that what I noticed, we felt the plane like land. And we looked at each other, and I'm like, and she says to me, we should have been talking the whole time. And I knew that the purpose of the reason why the plane was taking all day and taking reroutes was because God had purposed that conversation for her comfort, or for whatever she needed, and for what I needed. And seeing God work like that just for her, I knew that what I was dealing with, that God was going to completely move, that I didn't have to worry even about my own situation I was carrying. Just thought that was so interesting, and I wanted to share that with you. So if you're going through something and you feel like God is not with you, he's not hearing you, know that he orchestrates things to the T, and the timing of things always work together. Keep trusting in Jesus.